following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
This is Media Mash, a roundtable of Cowboys insiders dropping wisdom and offering sizzling takes on the current state of your Dallas Cowboys. Now, your host, Steve Dennis.
Oh, what a night. Late September back in 21. That's the way it felt on Monday night. Man, what a week. It's Wednesday already. Our foursome, gathered here today. 3 of them are already on to Wednesday practice and moving on. But on Media Mash today, we got to go back a little bit to the game Monday night and make some sense of it. So let's do it. My name is Steve Dennis. I'm here every Wednesday and Thursday from 4 to 5. Our foursome today, myself, Clarence E. Hill Jr. of Fort Worth Star-Telegram fame and famous for many other things. John Machota from The Athletic is back with us on this Wednesday. And Rob Phillips with DallasCowboys.com and other Cowboys media. All right, guys, you were there. You witnessed every second of it. On TV, it wasn't nearly as good, probably, as it was in the stadium. But all things considered, except for a missed extra point by Zuerlein and a fumble in the end zone that Fletcher Cox decided to eat up, it was a perfect night, was it not?
Well, I mean, you had Connor Williams with a couple of holes. Biadasz got bulldozed a couple of times. I mean,
well, Chill's wrong.
Other than that, it's perfect.
Chill's wrong as usual.
Get a little specific.
So I've been
Somebody stubbed their toe.
I mean, you said perfect. I'm just saying, what all perfect, but they got to win.
I'd say okay. So I haven't obviously been covering the team as long as Chill, but I've been going to Cowboys games since 2010. That was probably one of the best games I've been to if you include everything. I mean, it was on playoff level, and certainly them having a lead 20-7 at halftime helped. But because they were playing so well against division rival, and it was the first home game, and fans back in the stands, and Dak returning, like that took everything at halftime and just was kind of like a match to lighter fluid. And Jimmy Johnson being like, it's one thing if you're Jimmy Johnson and you're just like, it's not a big deal. Jimmy's at the games all the time. No, Jimmy's never at the games, and he certainly isn't on the field yelling, how about them Cowboys? And that's one of the loudest roars I think I've ever heard at that stadium. And so that takes it to another level. And then just the way that they play in the second half, you got them getting turnovers again, and takeaways, I should say. Yeah, that's one. For a non-playoff game, that was as electric as that place.
See there, Grump. You see there.
I was not being grumpy.
Machota gets it. See there, just a perfect soliloquy right there.
He was looking at me just now during John's answer and he gave me kind of the really look, like really.
Listen to me.
Clarence will do.
I did not say it wasn't a great night. Okay, it was a great night. I said it was. I wrote it was the most complete performance the Cowboys have had in the Mike McCarthy era. If you're talking about on the field,
boy, 2 years.
And I thought
what an era. A year plus.
Listen, we expected a lot coming in, but so I was thinking on the field, he was talking about the team and the game, whatever else, and he said, was it perfect? No, it wasn't perfect, but yes, it was a great night when you put in all the other factors in. Certainly it was a great night.
All right,
it was an exciting night for Cowboy fans, no question.
Rob, leaning close to perfect.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was damn good. I think when you win a game like that in prime time and everybody's watching, I think for the offense in particular, it's like put on notice. Somebody said that after the game, right?
That was the defensive player that said that.
Trevon did. He was asked. You asked him.
I did ask him.
Did he put everybody on notice? I think they put the league on notice, at least offensively.
Defensively,
we're going to be a problem, and defensively, we're a lot better than we were last year. And to your point, it's not perfect because there's a lot of yards being allowed still, but when you get takeaways, like you said, John, I mean that can change everything.
It was electric. No question,
yeah.
It was electric. I didn't, I think we're talking two different languages.
All right. Well, I would make this statement. I think, and you guys can argue at will, I think it was the best night at AT&T Stadium since January 5th, 2019, when they beat Seattle in the playoffs.
Yeah, no question.
Now you could argue they started 3-0 in Garrett's last year. Remember, they beat Washington, New York, and then spanked Miami. And that was a pretty good night, and they were 3-0, and there was a bunch of talk, and then they lost.
No, there was a lot of excitement, but to your point, that was still the start of the season. Was 3-0. They beat a bad Miami team.
Yes.
We knew Miami was bad. They were trading for Taco Charlton that week.
That's right.
He was there first. You know they were bad. They needed Taco.
I think with this current team, what's the difference from then is like, yeah, during those times, did they have a good offense that could score a lot of points and get a lot of yards? Yeah. But this defense is much different than any of those. And you can go back from 19 back to 16, back to 14. Like, there's never been a defense that they've had recently where you're actually thinking like, wow, they could actually like keep them in a game. Like if they keep getting takeaways and it like this, like there was always a ceiling with those previous Cowboys teams because the defense was only, well, this is what we got. It's going to be try hard and they're going to stay in their lanes and do the right thing. But you knew when you went up against the really good teams, you weren't going to have a chance. You feel like right now that they have a chance against some of the better teams in the league.
I think it. We like to do on Wednesdays occasionally the cheers, jeers, and fears thing where I can think of only one or two jeers. It's cheers to everybody. I mean, you can go right down the list, and that is what is impressive to me about the start this season. And we're going to get into all this stuff. We're gonna ask the question: what's real, what's not? People are obviously going to get out of control. That's what they do with the Cowboys. Imagine if they'd beat Tampa and they're sitting here 3-0.
I think some people feel like they have because there's fans asking us, is this a trap game Sunday? It's like Carolina's 3-0.
They're just starting,
They did lose a game here.
But again, that's why it's important, and Mike McCarthy talked about it this week about, as Bill Parcells used to say, not eat the cheese. Can they handle success? Because Cowboy fans have gone crazy the other way now.
Yeah.
They're always talking about looking past Carolina, looking past the Giants, like the Cowboys can get boat race these people. They have improved. The defense is better, but the defense still gives up yards. There's still room for improvement. That's the most exciting thing about what we've seen, to me, is that you're talking about a defense that's still 20, 60 yards, but they turn the ball over, which offsets that, and turnovers are more important. But, quote, unquote, if they don't get the turnovers, they're going to be giving up yards. And the good news is you still have the cavalry on the come with the DeMarcus Lawrence and a Neville Gallimore and those guys coming.
All right, let's hear something real quick. I introduced everybody except Chris Beam. Rookie, our fabulous producer, he's with us every time we do Media Mash. He put together this comment from yesterday. You guys are right there for it. I heard you badger him again about why wouldn't you keep Quinn I'm talking about. Why wouldn't you keep Micah a defensive end? That's 2 weeks in a row you've asked that. Machota wanted to go back to a comment a month ago about the chip on the shoulders. Very nice. But here's McCarthy. I love this comment from yesterday. You said Parcells' line was don't eat the cheese. Here comes McCarthy's.
Definitely, it's one of our building blocks. Handling success is something that, I always felt it's the biggest challenge in life and in this, NFL game and everything that goes around it. So every level of success that you have, there's different devils, and when we'll talk about an excellent, obviously division win, home opener, a lot of love from the media. My God, we all got toothaches this morning, except me, of course. But so it's no, but we'll talk about it.
All right, we'll talk about it.
Can I ask you guys something about that?
Yeah.
You buy that that's a joke? Him throwing that in there?
No.
Do you think that's?
I think it's bothering him.
Well, I mean,
About the clock management?
Yeah,
he heard it.
That everybody's happy right now, but then they're still taking a dig at
everybody
him.
except him.
Sure.
I mean, first of all, that's the age-old truth. Many truths are told in jest. I mean, he's joking about it, but it's true. He feels it. It's sometimes you could tell the truth in jest, but I'm kidding, but I'm serious.
Well, I want to make one comment about that because I think we discussed it very prematurely last week on the show. I think we did on Thursday. You were with us, right? When Slater asked a very good question, she's not sure what Coach McCarthy does.
Yeah, she was pretty. She
came right out
blatant
with it.
about that. Yeah,
but I want to defend him this week. Now, I'm not going to defend him on what I would think would be normal work by a head coach. Thinking about the next play to get closer for the field goal last week is normal stuff. I mean, it should be second nature. Same thing before the half. Not getting a timeout when they're deep with a minute 50 to go, get the timeout. That is normal stuff. And for him to explain it off, we took no, you took the stupid route, not the conservative route. But
did you just call him stupid?
no, I said he took the stupid route.
Called him stupid.
But wait a minute. I want to defend him on one point. I want your opinion on this. He said everybody is getting toothaches. That's his eat the cheese. They have so much sugar, they're getting toothaches from everybody.
He also mentioned devils, too. He mentioned devils.
Except him.
That's right, he did.
See, to me, he deserves credit on this. The one of you asked a question, no, maybe it was Eatman, about the fabric of the team. Call it what you want, the makeup, the fabric. And I want to make this point. McCarthy gets credit for this. Jason Garrett's message became horribly stale. That's why he had to go. This team is not stale. This team is energetic. Every single player is hungry. They've had so many injuries to start this thing. Doesn't matter. Guys are jumping in there and showing up and overachieving. That is the overall feel of a team, the fabric, the makeup. That's what McCarthy gets credit for.
See, you've been here long enough. You know that's recency bias, right? That's recency bias. Because
we go by what we've seen so far this year.
But what I'm saying is that to say that Jason was stale and his is fresh, he's a new coach. It's supposed to be fresh. Jason was here damn near 10 years. It's going to be stale. That goes without saying.
It was fresh and bad last year.
Okay, yes. Well, it was just bad last year. But I'm just saying they have better players. But I take Jason's guys never quit. They weren't good. But they never quit. I mean, they went through a lot of stuff. They had a lot of stuff. 1 year a teammate, has an accident that kills another teammate. They were in it to the end. That team they didn't quit. They never gave up.
Well, we don't want to have another Garrett discussion.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying. But you're acting like this team doesn't give up. And Garrett's guys gave energy. They weren't good.
No, they didn't give energy.
Yes, they did.
Were flat. The message was stale.
That's not true.
They just kind of walked through things.
That's not true. But I will give you. They did play with passion, emotion, and enthusiasm. That's what his word was, right?
No, that was his message. They weren't listening.
They did. They loved Garrett. But we'll give them credit. And unlike this year and past year, for what they've gone through the first few games, I played last week without 6 starters on defense. Having to deal with all the expectations coming into the season and having the COVID setbacks and the injury setbacks, especially on a defense that wasn't good last year, they've overcome that and not been a problem. I give certainly Mike McCarthy credit, but let's give Dan Quinn credit.
You wanted to give Parcells credit there.
Let's give Dan Quinn the credit. Let's give Dan Quinn the credit. Yeah.
Absolutely, and I agree with you, Clarence, on the Dan Quinn thing from the perspective of not only are they playing better, but they're playing young guys and they're making an impact right away. I mean, that game was the perfect example. You have Micah Parsons, Osa Odigizua, who outside of Trayvon Diggs were their best 2 defenders, and those 2 guys were in a draft day trade is what they got for giving up Devontae Smith basically to the Eagles. And we're not used to around here defensive guys making that quick of an impact and that big of plays in big games like that. And so to your point with having so many guys injured, how many players that they've either signed in free agency, which we all know they don't spend a lot in free agency, and they've drafted and put them out there already and they're making an impact and it's only week 3. I mean, you can give credit to whoever you want, but that's the difference between a lot of those Garrett teams.
Yeah, and yes, let's go back to Quinn. Do you think last year or the year before that if you had injuries on defensive line, they would move the linebacker to defensive end?
Well, they didn't have a guy capable of doing that.
I was just going to say that.
I think that even if Micah was on that team, they would be so rigid in what they do.
We like Armstrong.
They would not move. Yeah. They would not move him.
I don't think they would either, but they're just. It's tough because he's such a rare piece that it's hard to say for sure.
I know, but I'm just saying they were so rigid in how they did things, and the best thing about
you know what they would have done? They might have moved him there, and then they just leave him in one spot. We're right here covering the team. I honestly couldn't tell you from week to week where Mike Parsons would line up.
Here's the other flip side too on the offensive side of the ball, because if we want to talk about adjustments, they've decided with Zeke we're going to keep him fresh, and if we're getting a certain look, we're not going to worry about carries and touches for certain guys. We're just going to do whatever works. And Zeke's only averaged like 14 carries for the first 3 games.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to mind. Nobody seems to care because they've got enough weapons. It doesn't matter. And maybe in pass regime, I don't know. Maybe they would have force-fed things.
Jason would have hit his head up against the wall.
Yeah,
he
maybe.
He would
Yeah.
hit it.
Well, I think
we got to get those dirty yards.
I think that was hidden genius by Kellen in this game because he understands what Zeke heard all week. There was a couple of opportunities in the second half, third quarter, where he could have gone to Pollard, and he didn't. He wanted Zeke to get his groove back.
I disagree.
He wanted Zeke to know that he's still Zeke. He could have switched off of him, and he didn't.
I think if they really cared that when he got to 17 carries, 95 yards, they'd have got him his 100.
That's a good point.
I mean, I don't
and
think
he's still under 20
I think that was part of the game plan. They stuck to the game plan last week, like they stuck to the game plan against the Chargers. That was just how the game plan was. The way just Zeke talked about it today. If they're going to play shells, they're going to run the ball, and they ran the ball, and they were physical. Mike McCarthy talked about they were going to be inside runs. And if you're going to do more inside runs with that team, then Zeke's going to be the guy to get the bucket of those carries. That's what he does best. I don't think it was a situation where Zeke heard all this negativity. Let me just give him a bone to shut up the fans. No. This was about the game plan. That's the beautiful thing about this team and what they're doing. They're not worrying about egos. The players are not worried about ego. They're not worrying about this guy needs to get this many catches and this many touches. Let's do what's best. The game plan is going to be dictated on what's best to win the game. Dak Prescott, they make the calls a lot of scrimmage based on what they see in front of them, and that's why they've had so much success.
I thought it was interesting, too, that to that game plan point that you just made, that they were willing to go with an offensive guard at fullback on the first series. This wasn't like, let's throw this in on a goal line package. It was on the first series. It was like, we're going to establish the run. Let's get out there, and that's what this defense has given, this defense has given us. Let's establish it, even if it means bringing another offensive lineman out there to block.
And I think that was, and again, we talked about Dan Quinn. Let's give Kellen Moore's flowers because he's done. We love the swinging gate. And with the Chargers, now he brings in a backup offensive lineman, use him at fullback. Because seriously, one of the things that we were worried about this offense was being able to score in the red zone, short yardage, all this stuff. Well, let's bring this wrinkle in. We're going to bring a guard and play him at fullback. Yes, they used it outside the red zone, but they also used it in the red zone. I think that's part of improving that red zone short yardage attack. They were 4 for 5 in the red zone against the Eagles.
Let the record show that I disagree with you. I think there was a time where Pollard disappeared in this game that he didn't do last week because Kellen Moore wanted to keep Zeke on the field. That's my opinion. And I think it was genius because Zeke had a week where he heard a lot of nonsense. And you're right. The thing about this team, it reminds me of Jason Garrett's best year, by the way, since we brought him up, when he coached the hell out of Dak as a rookie. And the way that season went along with Zeke and Dak brand new and Tony out of the picture, that was a remarkable year. And the thing about that team that smacks of this team is they didn't care. In the middle of a game, they just did what they did. They drove it, and if adversity hit, they didn't care. They drove it again, and that's what they did in this game. I mean, when Dak fumbles the ball and Fletcher eats it up, and it's 7-7. Adversity hits right there. All of a sudden, they drove the 6 plays to get on the board 7-0. Boom. That happens. And then they drive it again, 12 plays for 75 yards. Don't get in the end zone. Zeke doesn't get in, and then whether you like the replay on Dak or not, adversity hits again. They've got Philly pinned 3 and out immediately, and then they drive it immediately down the field. They don't care. They just do what they do, and it reminds me of that 2016 team when Dak was brand new. But he's a different player now than he was.
Yeah, completing 80% of his passes. Yeah, and they don't seem to care who gets how many touches for who. But at least publicly, nobody seems to care, and that can be a problem. I mean, it can. We've seen it in past Cowboys teams going way back. Guys didn't get their touches. T.O. I mean, it becomes a topic of discussion.
Well,
T.O. should have got more touches.
Let's be clear, though. Zeke did say last week that he doesn't care what fans think because they're not writing the checks. That is not a comment from somebody who doesn't care completely. All I'm saying, they're all team players, which is a nice vibe.
No, McCarthy said it best. Everybody, you're not a skill position. You're not a guy that handles the ball who don't want the ball.
You don't get to that point in your career.
You want the ball, but they want to win. They've been through so much. Zeke, he said it best today. This is a 17-game season. He knows, the toll is taken on his body. He also knows this is a longer season. Keep them fresh. Todd asked about, running backs generally got to get lathered up, a lot of carries. You better 25, 30, wear them down. Zeke said, no, it's about being fresh because it's not just about being fresh at the end of the game. It's about being fresh at the end of the season. They'd rather be fresh.
And he also added at the very end that, he still feels fresh, but not as fresh as he felt week one.
No, because it's 3 games.
Right.
Because it's football. People understand it still takes it's 50 car wrecks, every Sunday.
Especially Zeke's running style.
And the way he runs it. So, it's an issue. So, not just the running back, the receiver. You saw Amari with the big game week one. He hasn't gotten the ball a lot the last couple of games. CD. The tight ends are getting the ball. They're spreading the thing around. That's the beautiful part about it because they have so many weapons, so many places for Dak to throw the ball to. He can get the ball to the open guy. It was funny because, Ed Werder asked CD today about Dak missing him on the touchdown. He missed you when you were open. Then he went to Cedric. It wasn't that Dak missed him. Dak told us that he saw safety, thought it was a guy out backside safety, so he came off of CD because CD didn't get open first and did, the old scramble drill it hit said. But it's not a big deal. They got the touchdown. They went to said. That's what they're happy for everybody's success.
Especially when you're winning. Makes it easier when you win, too.
Absolutely. And the coaches, it makes it easier. I'll say this, Dalton Schultz, if he was the complete featured tight end here, like some of the other tight ends are, he'd be top 3 in the league.
Top 3.
Top 3 or 5.
Come on, man. Stop.
Oh, my God.
Come on, man. Stop.
The guy proved it last year.
Stop it, man.
He
I need you to
he is exceptional.
John, you got a list?
Stop it, man.
I don't think I'd go 3. I could get him in the top 10, though. If he.
Well, tight ends are so thin. Once you get past Kelsey, Kittle, and Waller, there's nobody else, baby. Logan Thomas,
Gronkowski's pretty good.
But your boy in New England that was in Tennessee, there's a lot of good tight ends in the league. Stop.
He's not better than Jonnu Smith, who gets 2 catches a game?
No, he's not better than Jonnu Smith.
Do you play fantasy football?
See, that's probably all you care about is fantasy football. I watch the game.
I'm talking about guys that produce. This dude produces.
I watch the game.
I don't know he's better than T.J. Hawkinson or
It's
Noah Fant.
It's a lot of guys
I'm
out
saying
there.
if he was targeted like T.J. Hawkinson, he would be.
Well, I don't know about that.
No.
Hey, he did put up 63 catches last year in a season with 4 different quarterbacks.
That's right.
Listen,
and all
and
that.
the problem is that
I'm just saying he had
we're
a good
not
year last
saying
year.
he's a good player, but let's not put him top 3, top 5 in the league. That's just
If he was
ridiculous.
targeted like them,
he was not.
He would produce.
Hey, you know how we're going to find out, though?
Watch the game,
is in
Steve.
free agency. Because he's a free agent at the end of this
that's
year,
right.
and someone's going to give him money, and the Cowboys probably can't afford him. Which, with all their weapons that they have, and obviously a draft coming up, they can do things. But if he was anywhere near what you would call affordable, it certainly makes sense to keep him because just the progression that he's made from last year to this year is
and the year
pretty
before the last year because we
Yeah.
didn't see because we. I mean, there was a question whether he should have been on the roster last year before the season. Because there was a question about his
He
future.
beats mismatches. He gets open. It sounds like old 82 to me.
He's a better blocker than he was. No, you're right.
He's a better blocker than Jarwin. He certainly surpassed Jarwin as the guy right now.
He's gotten better all around.
See, what he does is he hates your comment, then he sneaks back to it. That's what
No,
Joe does.
the problem
he
is
goes,
this.
"Oh, you're crazy. Stop it."
The problem
Stop
is
it."
that
and then he ends it by going, "He's definitely the better tight end right now."
I said of Jarwin, you talking about top 5 in the league. That's 2 different things.
Jarwin's a $22 million tight
Stop
end.
it.
He needs to get out of Schultz's way, is what I'm saying.
He's already out of Schultz's way. Schultz is the starter.
Yeah, and just target him. Get him 10 targets a game.
Stop
He'll
it.
be top 3 in the league.
Okay, so
all right, wait, we're taking
over
a break.
CD, over Amari. I mean, stop it.
No,
Don't
over
say
the other
crazy
tight
stuff.
ends in the league.
10
is what
targets a
I'm talking
game.
about. So what is real? What is real? This team is 2-1. They're very excited. They're very fired up. The head coach is worried about success. And as Machota mentioned, Jimmy was in the stadium and said something very interesting. We're going to hear that, and we're going to mash this around. What is real about this team after 3 games? Next on Media Mash.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
New Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. You deserve it.
I do deserve that.
You deserve decadent flavor without sugar. And a day at the beach without sand getting everywhere. And a relaxing bath that your children don't interrupt.
I deserve all that?
It's really just a visual metaphor for Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Everything you want, nothing you don't.
A visual metaphor on the radio. I do deserve that.
Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. The zero you deserve is finally here.
Before there was a draft, you could size up a cowboy by 3 simple factors: the crease in his hat, the bend of his brim, and his unbending attitude. A man Stetson didn't just protect him from what life threw at him, it projected a rugged, unstoppable spirit. Stetson hats are still American-made with pride right here in Texas. They're still the unofficial crown of all self-respecting cowboys, and Stetson is proud to be on the field with America's team. Find a retailer nearest you at stetson.com/cowboys.
There's nothing as unique as our eyes, which is why Essilor pioneers ways to make lenses as unique as you. Verilux for super sharp vision, Essential Blue for protection, and Crizal for freedom from glare. 3 cutting-edge solutions in a single unique lens. So whatever your needs, insist on Essilor. Visit your local Essilor experts and find the perfect lens for you. See more, do more, Essilor.
Back to Media Mash.
Wow. There is no question that Clarence is grumpy on this Wednesday.
I am not.
My name is Steve Dennis. Clarence Hill's here. John Machota's here. Rob Phillips is here. We call it Media Mash. We're glad you're with us. We're throwing this around, or we're about to.
I'm just running down this list of tight ends in the NFL. I'm sorry.
Oh, you got a list?
I've got a list.
You have a top 3 list?
It's hard, man. It's a good list, though. I'm just saying.
Well, no, the top 3 are given. Beyond the top 3 is wide
I'm talking
open.
about beyond it. This line, it's got a lot of good tight ends.
Yeah, he's naming guys that can't even get on the field.
Yeah, Mark Andrews can't get on bad.
O.J. Howard, he can't get on the field.
Who's the guy in Baltimore? Can't get on the field.
Mark Andrews, good player. He's number 4.
He is good.
Hawkinson's number 5.
Okay, a lot of guys.
Trust me, I'm 0-3. I'm scouring in my fantasy league. I know where they all are.
Big Dallas Goddard.
All right, back to business here. I want everybody to hear this. I thought it was fantastic. You guys all witnessed it. Chill's so grumpy, he's going to shoot it down. But it was a big gold jacket night at AT&T Stadium Monday. All the Hall of Famers were there. They got their rings. Pretty special. That added to the greatness of the night, as you said, included by Dak returning to AT&T Stadium since he was hurt. All kinds of neat things going on. This was kind of a cherry on top of it all at halftime when Jimmy decided to unload this.
The only thing other than that I've got to say, how about them Cowboys?
I'm sorry, but that's just pure greatness.
Absolutely.
And on a night like that, where now fans are nuts, all of you out there across Cowboys Nation, don't lie to me. You know you are pumped. This thing looks better than it's looked in at least 3 years. 2018, they won a playoff game. But and then Jimmy throws this line out. First time he has said it publicly since they beat San Francisco in a classic moment in Cowboys history. So everybody's connecting the dots now.
Oh, it's destiny?
Yeah, now all the conversation this whole week is Jimmy was there to say, how about them Cowboys? And Marcus Spears said it on the network today. This is a Super Bowl team. Here we go.
That's like a band just saying the name of the city they're in. You know, that's going to get an instant reaction. It's 100% guaranteed.
But I'll even go farther than that. I don't think that there's anything that any Cowboy player, coach, whoever living today, there's nothing that anybody could say that would get a bigger roar than Jimmy Johnson saying, how about them Cowboys? There's just nothing on that level.
Perfectly.
Nothing. I've always thought that, thinking of you talking about this being everything heading in the right direction, I've always thought that the team was kind of jinxed until Jimmy got put in the Ring of Honor. And what if he gets put in the Ring of Honor and then they win, they go to the Super Bowl the very next year?
And then Jimmy will get the credit.
It's the Bambino thing?
Right. That's all that had to be done. That's all that had to be done, and everything would have been fine.
See, this is my problem.
He's getting his machine gun out. He's about to machine gun it all down.
This is why McCarthy was talking about you devils. You devils in the media. You devils fan.
he said
He
that.
did say devils. It's the devils out there. Because
No, he said every level of success you reach, there's devils in.
right, he's talking about the cheese. He's talking about, so like Marcus Spears. He say that we're tying this to Super Bowl. They played 3 games. They haven't been out there since 1995. That is my I've covered this team, and my problem is, just like Steve, with all due respect, I love what Schultz has done. But he's played 3 games. Now we want to make a top 3 tight end in the league.
He did
Can we see more? Can we see more? Please, can we see more?
You were totally right. But
soon as somebody does something, it's let's go over the top.
What shirt are you wearing right now? I know the shade.
We're back.
Okay? It's the same thing.
It's the same thing with the Longhorns. You're right.
Same
but we go.
thing.
They do They pee half a drop. We act like they pee a full drop. They ain't peed a drop yet.
I half expected Texas to be in the top 10 because it's the same thing.
That's
You get a
all
big
I'm saying.
win, nice win.
Can we let this thing lather up a little bit?
But even with that, Texas has never been on the national level that the Dallas Cowboys are. And so what happens is, and I agree with Chill to a certain extent, but you also got to look at this machine of what they are, what we're just doing right now. How many shows Dallas Cowboys has? How many different people want to talk about the Cowboys all the time? So, yeah, there's other teams that play well a little bit. And you know what? There probably are a few local reporters that, they sprinkle a little gasoline on the fire. But here, it's going to come in bucket loads. And the Devils thing, that's nothing new. The best one on all of those, even better than the not eating the cheese, is I think it was a year or two ago when Nick Saban said the thing about, you guys are like, it's about like giving poison or whatever. He's like, you guys are like, what you put out there, it's like rat poison to these guys.
You know what I would say to Saban? Hey,
so
Nick,
I don't want to feed into it.
Nick, shut up. You win every year. Shut up. And let us do whatever the hell we want.
But that's why he does. That's why he wins.
But let me make this statement. I'm as cynical, Chill, as you in all of my years here in Dallas. You would agree with that. It was a victory. It was a vision victory to me, the Tampa game, not a moral victory, a vision victory. I think if Cowboys fans want to go a little dipsy-doodle right now and overboard excited, go ahead.
Yeah, for sure.
You haven't had it in so long. The night was so with COVID finally, we hope, winding down after everything that everybody's been through. It was a full stadium again. All the stadiums are full. Fans feel like it's a new beginning. Let's get through all this crap and make it about the excitement again. So don't shoot it down.
Listen to me. I'm not gonna, listen to me, Steve. This is it. Let's do this. Let's play. Let's make a deal. Let's get to the bye. They got 3 games before the bye.
If they're 5-1 at the bye,
they're winning all 3.
Then we can talk.
Go
and win at New
Then you're
England.
going to pull apart ourselves. We'll know what we are at Thanksgiving.
There you go. Then we can talk. Let's do that.
I'm saying enjoy it right now.
These are winnable games, okay?
Just let everybody soak it up.
You can beat Carolina's good, but you should beat the Giants. And I'm sorry, Belichick is there, but this is not a good New England team. Go win at New England.
I think that's part of what McCarthy's talking about.
Go win at New
I think
England.
everybody's kind of penciling them in for 5-1. And
that's his problem, not our problem.
There's an undefeated team coming in Sunday.
That's not the fans' problem.
You know what's
That's
another
his
point in
problem.
it, though, too, Steve, when you talk about like fans should be excited and enjoy it right now. Another key piece in all of this is the fact that a year ago, they saw their star quarterback's ankle pointing east and west.
Yes.
And there was a lot of concern.
And he wanted to get up and play.
Right. And there was a lot of concern about when he comes
back in place first.
when he came back, how was he going to look? Then you go into training camp, like after this several months of like hearing different things of like, I don't know. He had to have a second surgery now.
Preach
this isn't going to be good. Then he gets to training camp and it's like, oh, he's got to pull himself out of practice. And then everybody starts talking about like, oh, this is going to be something he's going to have to deal with all year. And then not only does he come back, but he looks better than he's ever looked before. That's a key factor in all this because that's the most important position on the field.
Thanks for that. Now, let's calm down a little. Let's bring it down and let's all be a little more reasonable.
Thank you, rookie.
I'm the one that typically wants to put the kibosh on things. I don't know why you would do that right now. Let him dance naked.
No.
Says me. Okay. But anyway.
Look like they dance in the post-game locker room.
Let's point out, let's have a little discussion here on what we think is real. All right? Forget the hype. Forget the start. What's real? All right, let's start with 4. Does anybody disagree? He is real.
He's real.
Very real. Now, can I say top 3 in the league real, or are you going to yell at me?
Whatever number you want to put on it, top 5, top 3, he's in that group, I think, now of you can win any game you play in because he's playing.
That's the most important thing. I hate this. Why do we have to rank him?
That's what we do, baby.
No, we don't have to.
On. That's what we
just
do.
You said it all. He's real. He's the Cowboys franchise quarterback. You feel you can win with him no matter who you play.
Right.
You don't have to rank him.
I'll tell you why you rank him. It's because we've been in this business for a long time. And you go ahead and you go write that article about what you just said right there, and I'm going to go do a ranking, and we'll see who gets more clicks.
Fine.
And you know what? It's not even going to be close.
That's not the
you're
point.
right. It's about lists.
And is that right?
I'm not into that, though. I'm just having this in this discussion,
and that's you. But I'm saying the big picture is that people do like that.
Well,
they like those.
But wait a minute. It's not just the rankings. It's sort of, for example, my mentality right now is there's the 2 most excited cities in the NFL right now. Los Angeles over the Rams and Stafford, and Dallas over the Cowboys and Dak. And that's not putting a sheet out that goes, they're number 1, we always talk that way.
It's so tough to put the Rams though in there. When you
they're not an exciting city.
I'm just saying, like the fan base, man. I'm telling you, when you go out there, it's
not
just like, do they have?
I'm sorry, that's not true.
I'm not talking about that. I'm just saying if we're looking for who may show up in the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
Who's got the most juice right now?
Well, you're talking about the best teams, not the most exciting cities, though.
All right. Now, is Dak 77.5% completion percentage real? That's a little.
Yes. If they're going to throw underneath, yes. If they're going to play over the top, he can do that all day, every day.
All right.
That's nothing.
Kellen Moore, as a play caller, real?
For sure.
Real.
We're going to put that in the real column? There's no doubts there?
No, number 1 play caller in the league. Let's rank them.
There you go. Who's number 2?
I don't know.
Sean McVay?
Yeah, he's real.
We actually did that upstairs today. Danny McCray was like, who are the top play callers in the league? Where's Kellen's top 3?
That's what we do. That's fun.
I don't know, Dan.
That is fun.
Come on.
All right. Dan Quinn, defensive coordinator in Dallas. Real?
Yeah.
Now, when I say real, it's not going to be a mirage. We're not going to be on his ass in 6 games.
Unlike Kellen Moore, he had a track record. He had a resume. Everybody knew he was a great defensive coordinator. The other issue is, since we're projecting, let's project this.
Don't stand up. Please don't stand up.
Let's project this. Will the Cowboys have to hire a new offensive coordinator, a new defensive coordinator next year after 3 games?
Well, if
they have to do both
somewhere, maybe.
If they have to do both, this team probably got to the NFC Championship game.
Okay.
I could see them one. I could see one regardless of how things go, having to replace. But if you have to replace 2, they're just going to have a lot of success.
I'm just saying.
I don't know. I think it's possible because Dan Quinn, like you said, track record.
Be a head coach.
He's going to be a head coach again, and everybody's looking for the next McVay.
So USC might want Kellen Moore.
I think it's possible. I think you see both getting interviews, right?
I just think that the young offensive mind is the thing that's like the copycat thing in the NFL. Whereas with Dan Quinn, I could see teams being like, well, let's try something new. We saw him with Atlanta. Let's try a new, younger guy or something like that. But if he fixes this Cowboys defense in one offseason,
that's what I'm saying.
But just making the playoffs ain't going to do it.
But that's just what I'm saying. It's a possibility.
Well, you know
what? It's a possibility.
You're the one that it's way too early.
That's what I'm saying. Since we're doing this, since they're real, they're both real.
I'll tell you this. I did spend the day with my favorite Jones family member yesterday, giving him 8 shots, and he beat me scratch, which means I lost money. And we had this discussion with a table of 12 people. We had it yesterday. We felt guilty as hell. And I'm sitting there going, now, what is Jerry going to do to my favorite Jones family member, who I've known for 25 years? I said, what is Jerry going to do if this happens? If they go to the NFC Championship game, is how I put it, and lose. And teams come after Quinn, teams come after Kellen, and Jerry's got McCarthy. What's he going to do? It's way too early for that. But it's a guilty conversation we're all having. We should save it, though.
Now you want to save something. We already talked about the fans going to the Super Bowl and tying. How about them Cowboys to what it means?
Real quick.
Destiny.
The team vibe The team vibe. And when I mean that, when you take into account that all of these guys have been out. Gallimore, Armstrong, D-Law, Wilson, Collins, Neal in this game, Watkins in this game, Joseph for the whole season so far, Gallup, Amari's beat up. And who steps up? Everybody. Osa was awesome yesterday. No, 2 days ago, 2 nights ago. They're all stepping up. Steele's playing great. Hooker is playing great. Cedric Wilson's doing his part. Dalton Schultz. Don't say anything. Randy Gregory's back. The vibe of the team, is it real? Or could it go the other way in a few games if they do what they did in 19 and lose 3 in a row?
I think it's real, but I think it's like momentum. The spirit of a team can go up and down depending on the challenges that you have. And they've already had a ton, like you said, and they've come out okay with it. But I hate to say this, but it's just a fact. I mean, more injuries will happen. COVID is still a possibility. We've seen guys go on the list. There's going to be more challenges. So I think it's real, but I think the team spirit part, it's going to get tested constantly the rest of the way here, and we'll see how they respond to it, whatever it is.
Diggs is real.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
Even with like some of the other, you mentioned some of the free agents that have played, like even like a guy like J. Ron Curse. I think that it'll be real and it'll stay that way with a lot of these guys because they're guys that signed like 1-year free agency deals. Like they're going to be very motivated. There's nothing to rest on. Like, I had a good first 3 games. I can kind of mail it in for the rest of the season. I'll get another deal off of just those 3. No, you got to be good for an entire season. And that's what a lot of these guys that, let's be honest, they've kicked the tires on a lot of 1-year deal free agents that you haven't seen, big contributions, and you've already seen it from several different areas especially on the defense.
And it helps when your best player and your team leader has he's on a mission. He's on an absolute mission coming off of last year. So you follow your best player, and when he's trying to overcome what happened to him last year, I think that's a spirit lifter, if you want to say.
Dak has me having so many thoughts watching him play these days. And the biggest one that is screaming in my head now is, please tell me that we're going to see another elite quarterback. And make no mistake about it, Romo was an elite quarterback. But he didn't win anything. He won 2 playoff games in a decade.
Right.
Please tell me we're not going to sit here and watch a Dak-led Cowboys team not sniff anything.
He's halfway there.
He's way too good. Tony was way too good.
Yeah.
And I'm watching him. He's just playing at such a ridiculous level. And I can't remember the last time he had one of those Dak games where you go, ooh, Dak was just no good. I mean, you got to go back a ways to find that. I mean,
you got to go back to before Amari Cooper came.
19, they had some of those games.
Yeah, in Philadelphia.
That's a fair comment.
But
he was hurt.
That's
he had
a fair
one
comment,
arm.
though.
That and they couldn't stop anybody. He was playing
arm.
behind,
Yeah.
from behind a lot.
See, I would almost make it about him and Kellen more than I would him and Amari. In fact, if Kellen Moore is going to look for a job, he needs to go read all about Norv Turner and be what he was to Aikman for Dak and win a couple of rings and then go become a head coach. Now, Norv didn't do real well as head coach, and who knows if Kellen will or not. But that, to me, would be a better plan. But I would make it more about Kellen and Dak.
It's Amari. I'm sorry.
Really?
Kellen is calling us up. Just look at this offense. You need weapons. Where they were when at the beginning of 2018, was that 2018 when they were going to be great route running and we're not, in the back shoulder world and
Allen Hurns and they didn't have a number one.
Should have taken Calvin Ridley.
And he couldn't get 200 yards passing a game.
Yeah.
Once Amari came,
it changed everything.
Dak took off.
No doubt.
And the confidence he got from that, and then you add into the relationship with Kellen that just carried it to the next level. But having Amari, getting confidence and be able to make plays, that made the difference.
All right. Well, it was a big night Monday night, and Amari had 3 catches for 21 yards.
I think what Joe means is to get them headed in this direction, he needed another playmaker. If they could have got CeeDee Lamb at the time, that would have been great too, but they needed somebody. But the other thing to your point is, because I was listening to Bill Belichick today, just because this is going to be his first press conference before they're obviously going to face Tom Brady, and he talked about watching this Tampa Bay team and that this is the same offense, he says, that Tom's ran in New England. And it made me think about Dak because I'm like, even Kellen's going to get a job, and if it's elsewhere, whoever the next OC is, it has to all be about just building off of what you have right now with Dak. Right. It's not, hey, you're this new hotshot guy. What do you want to do? No, it's got to continuously be building off of what Dak wants to do.
That's so true because, Clarence, he did have Dez early in his career. See, I mean, I'm saying he did have weapons in the passing game. I agree with you. Amari changed everything that year, but I do think there's some value to that he's in the same system, and I think Tony – it's unfortunate for Tony because injuries got him, but when he got into 14 and 15, like he was in complete control of that offense. He had seen everything that a defense could throw at him.
And he used to change all of Garrett's plays.
Well, okay.
Yeah. See, I would.
He did.
I'm going to throw this comment out.
He did change all of Garrett's plays.
And that's fine.
I'm going to throw this comment out, and then I'm going to hurry and get to a break so you can't react. See, to me, the thing I love about Dak is he's relentless. He is relentless. Amari's not. He comes and goes. All right, coming up next. Coming up next. Is the NFC East a no-brainer after 3 games? And what about the rest of the NFC?
The guy plays with fractured ribs, and he calls him not relentless.
And we'll talk more. We'll talk more about the fabulous
unfair.
Sam Darnold tomorrow because he embarrassed the Cowboys once, as I recall. We'll do that more tomorrow. But about the NFC East next on Media Mash.
Hi, I'm Clint Tillison with United Ag and Turf. Before you can park yourself in front of the game, park yourself in a John Deere and power through your chores. Our Land Run package is a 1025R, 25 horsepower tractor with a loader, rotary cutter, and a box blade for $229 a month. And the price you see is the price you'll pay, no surprises. So don't miss another kickoff.
Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com. Offer ends February 1st, 2021. Restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
Now let's get to work.
The Cowboys way, where 16 Hall of Famers and 5 championships shows us what success looks like. Where turkey is always the second best part of Thanksgiving Day. Where we are all defined by one single thing, the star. Where we as fans know it's our job to keep the tradition going. Bank of America is proud to be the official bank of the Dallas Cowboys and to support the quest of living life the Cowboys way.
Copyright 2020, Bank of America Corporation.
Want to use what the pros use? How about the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black? Right now, you can get the Jack Black Starter, a curated collection of Cowboys locker room favorites for just $10 with free shipping. The starter includes 4 Jack Black skincare favorites, plus a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Go to getjackblack.com/Cowboys and use the code word TEAMJB. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys. The Jack Black Starter, $10, free shipping.
Honey, big news.
Gary, are you okay?
Oh, I'm not Gary anymore. I'm Jackie Flash.
What?
See, I want the latest smartphone, but the best deals are only for new customers. So, to get a new customer deal, I changed my name to Jackie Flash.
Okay, but the best smartphone deals at AT&T are for everyone, new and existing customers.
That's huge. Then guess who's getting a deal?
Is it Jackie Flash?
Jackie Flash.
It's not complicated. At AT&T, our best smartphone deals are for everyone. Restrictions apply. Visit att.com for details.
Back to Media Mash.
Oh, my gosh, and all the excitement of the big game Monday night. That's Sam Darnold. Is next. That team's undefeated. What about Matt Rule? Undefeated with that Carolina team. We'll get into all that tomorrow. We got some time right now, though. Does it feel? I got yelled at by probably you, Chill, last week, and I believe it was Nick on Thursday that joined you because what I wanted from the Cowboys this Monday night was a statement game. I didn't want them to beat the Eagles. I felt like they should make a statement and clobber them, and that's just what they did. And Nick is going, boy, you're hard to please. It just seemed like they were in position to do it. And the Eagles, I'm sorry, Hurts is not ready. He's only played 7 games. Different league going against Jalen Hurts. If you want to put quarterback against quarterback, which doesn't happen. But so with the statement being made, the NFC East is a no-brainer, right? Washington's defense is a fraud. The Giants are the Giants. It's over, right?
Well, I wouldn't say Washington's defense is a fraud, but I think the NFC East is exactly what we thought it was going to be. And it would have been this way last year if Dak probably doesn't get hurt. Now, I don't think that they would have pulled away and just, run away with it. But if Dak stays healthy, I mean, heck, they almost won it without Dak. Just because of how bad the division is. And you just look across it, and going back to what I said earlier, with Dak being healthy, that's the thing that you have to be most excited about because it's so hard to find a franchise quarterback, and clearly all of these other three teams don't have that guy. And until they get that guy, until you wake up in the morning and you see that report that someone traded for Deshaun Watson or an established quarterback, none of those other three teams should be on the same level as the Cowboys.
It's a passing league. So, yeah, it comes down to quarterback play. I mean, when you just look at every division and the best team in the division probably has the best quarterback. I mean, it'll be interesting what happens in the AFC West because the Chargers actually have somebody. I mean, they just beat them. We'll see what happens in the rematch, but they have somebody that can actually go toe-to-toe with Pat Mahomes potentially. So, yeah, and there's nobody at the quarterback position in this division that's on Dak's level right now. It's just it's a fact.
Did Pat Mahomes send Andy Reid to the hospital?
What?
It's funny. On this old guy, you guys know that Tony Romo sent Bill Parcells to retirement, right?
I think he did.
with the snap.
Yeah.
He couldn't stand the heartbreak, so he left.
I was like, I said, let me make sure Andy Reid's okay. But I just wanted to make the joke. Did Pat Mahomes send him to the hospital that interception?
He is okay.
I know. I said, well, make sure he's okay.
Man, if Mahomes can give you health issues,
then everybody can.
I know. But that's one thing, because we all know that Romo sent Parcells in the retirement.
Well, I don't think it was just Romo. I think that whole team he built.
Well, he built it.
He didn't want the heartbreak. Brady James, Terrence Newman, name whoever you want.
Yeah,
he just didn't think he built it to be tough enough to win.
But speaking of this team, they are the class of the NFC East. And I wasn't saying that they couldn't blow them out. I'm just saying, for this Cowboy team just needs to get a win. The idea that you have to put the standard on them, that they had to have a blowout to make a statement, that wasn't necessary. Get the win, build some momentum. That they did blow them out, they did make a statement, all the better. And they did do that.
Well, it's not about the points to me, Chill. It's about looking like they don't even belong on the field with you.
Why, yes.
It's about dominance. That first half was ridiculous. 19 first downs to 4.
All of that's true.
Dominance.
And what they should have done, but we still at that point didn't know about the defense. We still at that point, especially with the more injuries on defense, not having Neal, you just didn't know. And again, you still having to mix and match, get through the game. Okay, that was my goal.
To my point earlier, though, about Dak, I think we all agree those two teams didn't look like they belonged on the field together. Cool. Take Dak off of the Cowboys, put him on the Eagles, and I think that you could say the same exact thing, except it would be the Eagles. I really think that that's the difference. I think Jalen Hurts is not very good. He was not very good in that game. Dak's obviously an elite quarterback. If you gave the Cowboys, if you were like, it's going to be Cowboys versus Eagles, Dak's the quarterback of the Eagles, and the Cowboys come running out there with Cooper Rush, I could see the Eagles boat racing.
And the reason why you never believe in numbers, back to you thinking I'm a numbers guy, I'm really not. But you never believe in numbers. Hurts had a higher rating than Dak did in that game.
Did he really?
Yeah.
No, not a quarterback rating.
No, the other one, the QBR.
Not
made up rating.
69.2. I mean, what a joke.
I find it hard to believe that anybody could watch that game and think those two quarterbacks belong in the same class.
But let's talk about the whole division, though. And I did call Washington's defense a fraud. Oh, my gosh. Buffalo just trucked them.
Buffalo's good.
But
just in.
The week before that, Washington is stopping nobody. Yes, they don't have a quarterback. Well, he's game and he's enthusiastic, but Fitzpatrick.
It's Heineke right
now.
It's
not Fitzpatrick.
No, I'm saying Fitzpatrick. I was thinking for a minute, is it Fitzpatrick with the big beard, or is it it's Fitzpatrick? They would rather he had been the quarterback than Heineke.
Yeah.
I think, although that could have gone south for him. But it wasn't about that with them. It's about their defense. It's about those monsters, and they're not monsters.
I don't feel sorry for them because they could have taken Herbert. They want the defensive guy. They could have fixed their quarterback position for 15 years.
Yeah, it's tough to say that though at the time. I mean, Herbert obviously looks great right now, but I mean, hindsight's 20/20.
No, I love that comment though.
Most
you
people,
need
don't let those guys go.
I know, I understand you need a quarterback, but they easily could have been Tua. And then did you answer it for 15 years?
I'm talking about Herbert.
Right,
It could have been Tua. They could have made the decision.
But that's what I'm saying. But Herbert wasn't the number one guy that everybody. The Chargers got lucky.
I don't know if they got lucky.
They absolutely got lucky. They were willing to sit back there and take whoever fell to them. That was go look back at the stories. That's what they said. We'll take whoever falls to us.
My point is your job.
They didn't want to make the decision.
They did. They were like, if Tua's there, if it's Herbert, we'll take whoever the guy is.
That's fine. I'm just saying for Washington. I'm just saying for people feel because they still don't. And there's not one coming down the pike. You look at college quarterbacks.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's your job as a scout to find the guy.
That's the hardest position.
The only reason why I hate that kind of draft analysis.
It's not my job. It's your job.
No,
but it's not easy to just sit there and do that.
Not,
Herbert would have went one. Patrick Mahomes would have went one.
Hold on. Every team missed on Dak 4 times. In that draft,
he's the only guy in that class who's still with the same team.
And the Cowboys, the Cowboys missed on him too because they tried to get Lynch and Cook
Wade.
And whoever.
Wade liked him. Wade Wilson liked him. He liked him.
He did.
They were trying to draft to trade up for
God
Cook
rest his soul.
And
wonderful Wade.
And Lynch. Of course they do, but I'm saying I'm not feeling sorry for Washington not having the quarterback because they could have taken a quarterback.
It's real hard to look at drafts
Dwayne
and be
Haskins.
that way.
They took Dwayne Haskins. Oh yeah, they took that Buckeye.
Don't give up
Has
on
any
him yet.
Buckeye, every quarterback ever done anything in the NFL?
Justin Fields is about to.
Ooh, how did he look last week?
It's early.
I just asked the question. You didn't answer the question.
He looked like Troy Aikman in 1989.
Oh,
that's the only thing you would hang your hanger on.
Now he's Troy Aikman.
I won't go that far.
He got clobbered that bad, is what I mean.
Oh, yeah.
When Aikman got clobbered every game when he was a rookie. But it is all about the quarterbacks, and the 3 teams in the NFC East don't have one.
Yeah,
Hurts is good against Atlanta. He looked great against Atlanta. He's going to have
Atlanta's horrible.
He's going to have certain games where he looks ready, but he's really not. So they're a given. They're going to win the East by 4 or 5 games. There's just no doubt about it. Now,
but it's not about the East.
In the NFC, as we go a little broader. I think it's a little early to put him in the championship game, but just
let him go 6-1.
Maybe at the bye when they're 5-1. But see, the NFC is not the AFC. You've got the Rams. Okay, you got Tampa, who just won a Super Bowl. Those 2 teams aren't going anywhere. Now you got a bunch of, what about Seattle?
No,
what about Green Bay?
No, what
about Minnesota?
What about Arizona? Arizona's good. Minnesota's good.
And
San Francisco.
New Orleans.
No.
New Orleans good.
No.
They're good. They're a good team.
What are you talking about? No. Team. Why do you say no?
Did you
Why
watch
would you
week
say
1?
No?
Because you're at the stadium. I've got all 8 games on in front of me.
Which game you watch? You just watched the Carolina game.
I've watched all 3 of them. Okay. Winston is my backup fantasy quarterback.
Whoa,
he's a problem.
No, he's not.
He is a He's hot and cold. But
he had 2 good games, 1 bad game.
No, New Orleans looks very thin. Sorry, they look very thin.
And they got guys coming back. Their best receiver will be back by the time they play the Cowboys.
He's a Buckeye. But
and you have to play them in New Orleans, and that place is going to be crazy.
I don't believe in New Orleans.
That place will be crazy.
I don't.
After not being able to have fans and being displaced again.
I'm with Chill. This conference is loaded.
This conference is loaded.
It's loaded.
It's not loaded like the AFC.
Who's in the AFC?
I think it's deeper.
I'm sorry. Chiefs, Buffalo, Chargers.
Cowboys already beat the Chargers.
Maybe Cleveland.
I've seen 2 teams.
Baltimore.
Tennessee.
Who just robbed Detroit of a win because the clock ran out.
I don't know.
Baltimore's not that good.
I don't know that Baltimore is better than the Saints, to be honest with you.
The Cardinals already boat raced Tennessee.
I don't think you know how bad the Lions are. For them to sit there and play with their food against the Lions is embarrassing.
I'm sorry. They're needing a 67-yarder to beat them.
Detroit native right there.
I mean, they're bad.
There's some emotion there.
And I'm a fan of the Baltimore kicker.
I thought the Ravens were, if they were for real, they would have blown them out.
I think you can.
They sooner dropped about 3 touchdown passes.
Hey, Dan Campbell.
Hollywood dropped about 3 touchdown passes.
He did.
He's building something up there in Detroit.
I like
He's
Dan
biting
Campbell.
kneecaps.
I will always
and
like
I love
Dan
all of them.
Campbell.
I love him. I love the defense coordinator. I love Anthony Lynn.
All of them, yeah.
But
I think the NFC is deeper, top to bottom.
AFC is.
NFC.
NFC.
Top to bottom.
I think
it's better when you add the Cowboys to the mix. It's deeper.
Yeah, but you got to throw Philadelphia, Washington, and the Giants out.
I'm just talking about the top-heavy guys. We're talking about the top-heavy guys.
I mean, there's some garbage now in the NFC.
Arizona's good, man. Arizona's good. Their quarterback is coming. They're good.
Could be.
That whole damn division could make the playoffs.
First of all, you just
if
said
they allowed them
you
to.
said Tennessee was good, but you think you're gonna say Arizona could be good? Arizona boat raced Tennessee.
Well, it seems to me Tennessee has recently been in a conference championship game.
Okay, but we're talking about this year.
Arizona.
You said Tennessee.
Coming.
You said Tennessee was one of the good teams in the AFC, and I recall Arizona beating them by double digits this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Arizona's not good yet, but Tennessee is. Make it make sense, Steve.
Well, I'll tell you how.
Make it make sense.
I'll
Steve.
tell you how it makes sense.
It doesn't.
Every team we are talking
And they
about
did it on the road.
has
They did
one
it at
thing.
home.
One thing, as you've been saying the entire hour. Kyler Murray, Josh Allen, Matthew Stafford, who is the right guy in that offense.
Well, back to your Tennessee
Dak
thing. I
Prescott.
don't put Ryan Tannehill.
Well,
in that
now
group
he
with
was
them.
last year.
Yeah,
If
I
he's
don't.
going to play like
I'm
he
good with
did in
him.
Week 1
I
this
think
year,
he's pretty overrated.
they're in trouble.
But if Kyler Murray played like he's been playing all year,
Kyler Murray is playing at a ridiculous
Yeah,
level.
that's what I'm saying.
And all the good teams, you better have that guy. See, that's why Green Bay you can't ignore. Now Minnesota,
New Orleans.
But he can get you to the playoffs.
New Orleans got me so excited after Week 1.
Oh, there's going to be some low lows, but there's going to be some high highs
Well,
there
the thing
too.
about Week 2, we failed to accept that with New Orleans. Number one, Carolina's a very good defense, but they're continually displaced. They were playing at practice at TCU. They were out without like 7 coaches with COVID.
Did they just get home?
Are they had a number of players. There were a number of players.
They've been through some stuff.
Number of players out Week 2. So
it doesn't change the fact that they need better quarterback play. Period.
He was not bad except for Week 2. He was not bad last week or Week 1.
He was pretty bad in Week 3. I'm sorry, he was pretty bad.
Oh, let me look, since you're a numbers guy.
And by the way, Kamara is one of the best players in the game, and they can't get him the football.
Yeah.
They've got issues on offense. And Sean Payton is in love with Taysom Hill again, so let's just run him all over the place while they're scoring no points.
You know, it's funny we bring up Sean Payton. I got friends who say the Cowboys should have let Bill Parcells go to keep Sean Payton. And
That's a Justin Herbert.
I would have loved that discussion.
Yes.
Jerry going, "Hey, Bill, come here, man."
Yeah.
They should have never let Sean Payton get out of here.
Well, I think your same friends are probably saying the same thing about the current situation too.
That's why we talked about
Yeah.
it. They said you can't let Kellen Moore go.
I don't think you can.
You know, you
Kellen
can't
Moore.
let, you can't
what
let
did he
Kellen
say?
Moore jog.
What did he
Dan
say
Quinn
yesterday
go.
to you guys? He said, "No, I love it here."
Yeah, he does, but it's going to be hard for him to turn down.
He's got to be Norv Turner just for a couple of
but it's
years.
gonna be hard to turn down
Garrett, Garrett turned down jobs too.
Yeah,
but can I go back to Norv Turner and not Garrett? He's got to be Norv Turner.
It's going to be tough, though. I mean, you can't fault a guy if he gets an offer to be a head coach in the NFL, and because you can't just assume those opportunities are always going to be there.
That's what I said to the family member. I said Jerry is going to have a very tough decision. What's he going to do? Is he going to stick with McCarthy and let Kellen and Quinn go?
Because they got who's that quarterback's coach? Mine's gone blank.
Doug Nussmeier?
Nussmeier. They're grooming. That's why they were grooming Nuss in the preseason. Let me see you play calling Nuss.
Rookie Beamer
see you
is
play
tired.
calling Nuss.
Beamer's been doing this all day. So is Rob, though. I mean, it's just
Time flies when you're having
show
fun.
after show
check
after
this out.
show
Chris
here on
never leaves that room,
DallasCowboys.com.
man.
Check this out. They get paid to do this.
Did you just hear me say it's time to go, Chill? I mean, what do I have to do?
I'm hungry. Let's go eat.
What do I have to do?
Y'all feeding us? Can I get food?
Thanks to Beamer for doing what he does. We'll be back tomorrow at 4 o'clock, guys. Again, thanks for letting me talk some Cowboys with you. Tomorrow, it's Chill, it's Nick Eatman, and it's Jory Epstein. We'll be here. Fabulous force, and we tee off at 4 o'clock. Join us. Have a good Wednesday night.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?